So I just came back from the store, and I had to tell you about my experience. It's not as terrifying as some of the previous encounters, but it still gives me shivers. Let me begin by noting that I was not in the greatest of spirits this morning. I had to work the graveyard shift last night, and I woke up after only 4 hours of sleep with my back absolutely killing me. I couldn't get back to sleep, so I decided to run a few errands, since I was now wide awake. I needed to get a haircut while I was out, and my sister works at a salon that is right next to a Target. So after I got my sister to mow my scalp for free, by the way, I popped over to Target to grab a couple of items before heading home. So I'm just doing my thing and pushing my car down the frozen food section, and I turned the corner to go into the next aisle. What I did was find a middle-aged lady who was pushing her cart in the opposite direction. I nearly bumped into her, but then stopped before our carts collided. She gave me a mean look and then said in a really mean tone, "Excuse me." Now again, I have to say I wasn't in the best of moods, and I'm a short-tempered person as it is, so without thinking, I took a shot back at her and then said, "Oh, shut up. You're fine. Call me an ass if you want. No one's perfect." But what happened next was just pure insanity. The woman abruptly abandoned her cart and began following me. I noticed this about halfway down the aisle, and I then turned around to ask her what her problem was, and then, I kid you not, she rolled her eyes to the back of her head, pointed at me, and then screamed very loudly, and when I say screamed, I mean she was literally shrieking at the top of her lungs. It was like something right out of The Exorcist. I hurried down the aisle to try and get away from this insane person, but she started running after me. Needless to say, all of the bystanders immediately stopped what they were doing and then just stared at us. The lady kept screaming like a banshee at the top of her lungs while she chased me around the store. Well, I noped the hell out of there, ran out of the exit of the store, and I looked back into the store as I was heading for my car. The lady was standing just outside, then opened the automated sliding doors, just staring at me while she stood there. Her mouth was hanging wide open, and she was still just pointing at me. Her eyes were still curled into the back of her head, and all you could see were the whites of her eyes as she abruptly whirled around and marched back inside the shop. I decided to pick up my belongings at the nearby Walmart. Instead, all I could think of on the way home was, what the hell was that? That was nuts. So to the weird screaming, perhaps possessed banshee woman, I mean, maybe I shouldn't have been so rash with you, but you still have more than one screw loose in your noggin and you really need assistance. But whatever, I absolutely hope to never run across you again.